The second pragmatic strategy is adding and subtracting information. In adding information, the translator enters additional information in the translated text or in the translated work is because he urged that the reader does did it. So this additional in the strategy can be put in a text on the bottom of the page as a footnote or at the end of the text. And in common, this procedure or this strategy is usually used to help translate words relating to culture, technical, or other knowledge. Let's see the example. In the search language, the skin, which is hard and scaly, is grayish in color, thus helping to camouflage it from predators when underwater. While in the target language, the translator change into kulitnya yang keras dan bersisik berwarna abu-abu. Dengan demikian, kulit ini membantunya berkamuflase, menyesuaikan diri dengan keadaan lingkungan untuk menyelamatkan diri dari predator, hewan pemangsa jika berada di dalam air. So, from the example above, the word camouflage and predator in the search language is picked it up into the target language. So, the additional information in the target language about each one is biological term of camouflage and predators. So, the additional in the target language is menyesuaikan diri dengan keadaan lingkungan, which is refers to camouflage in the search language, and hewan pemangsa, it is referred to predators. Next, how about subtracting information? Subtracting information occur in the removal of words or the part of source language text in the target language text. So the purpose of subtracting information is to make the text of the target language is easy to understand by the reader. Check the example here. In the search language, sama dengan Raden Ayu ibunya, katanya lirih. While in the target language, just like her mother, she whispered. So we can know from the example here that the translator wants to make the sentence in the target language is easy to understand. Okay, the third pragmatic strategy is interpersonal relationship meaning. So in this strategy, changing the relationship between the writer and the reader is possible done by changing the level of formality, level of involvement readers, and choice of technical terms. So let's see the example. In the search language, this article will discuss democracy in developed countries, while in the target language, kita akan membahas demokrasi di negara-negara maju di dalam tulisan ini. So, from the example here, we know that in the search language, the relationship between the writer and the reader feels more distant or impersonal. While in the target language, kita akan membahas demokrasi. The relationship here becomes closer by using the word we, or in Indonesian language is kita. Okay, next, the fourth pragmatic strategy is illocutionary meaning or illocutionary changing. Change illocutionary refers to change in speech acts. So, for example, from statements be a request. Let's see the example. In the search language, it is too late. It's not good for me to be here. While in the target language, the translator translates it into malam telah larut, bolehkah saya pulang? So from the example above, we can see that the translator changed the statement in the target language. It's not good for me to be here. Be a request for permission at the target language. Bolehkah saya pulang? Alright, next, the fourth translation strategy is changing the arrangement of information. This strategy called Changing of Coherence by Chesterman, 1997, and by Newmark is classified into transparent. This type includes solving one sentence of source language becomes two sentences or more of target language. Let's see the example in the source language. Some species are very large indeed, and the blue whale, which can exceed 30 meters in length, is the largest animal to have lived on Earth. While in the target language, the translator translates it or translates the sentence into beberapa spesies sangatlah besar, titik, ikan paus biru, yang bisa mencapai panjang lebih dari 30 meter, adalah binatang terbesar yang pernah hidup di bumi. So from the example here, we get the explanation that in English, a sentence in the source language, in the example here, can consist of some clauses and their meanings are still clear. While in Indonesian language, in the target language, a sentence in the example here will be blurred if it consists of more than two clauses. So in the target language here in example in the slide, the sentence of search language can be broken down into two sentence or more sentence. Alright, next there is partial translation. Partial translation is translation strategy that is not translate existing words or sentences completely. So you can check the example here. In the search language, the translator said SBY the President of the Republic of Indonesia, while in the target language, the translator translated into SBY. You can see that the translator doesn't translate sentence completely, but the translator summarize it up. But in this context of partial translation, the contents of the information are still the same. Next, there is translator visibility changing. In this strategy, translators can make themselves more visible or more hidden in various ways. For example, by adding footnotes or add annotation in parentheses. This strategy do in order that the reader or the target knows that the translator is inputting the result of his thought independent into his translated text.